Alrighty, boys and girls, ladies, gentlemen, friends, and neighbors, we got a new project on the go today. Working on the Terrain. 2016 GMC Terrain needs a motor. She drank all her oil and popped. So anyway, it's the Ecotech 2.4, I think this thing is, and we'll be swapping this out today. So there you go. We'll get started on this. Got a whole bunch of stuff to pull, and there you go. Anyway, so we're going to start off. We'll probably pull out the air box. We might have to pull out.
I'm going to go get the tools.
Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff we got to pull out, so we'll get rolling on this and get her going. Stand by. So the first thing we did is we took the air box out, got the glamour cover off.
See where that bulkhead is?
Obviously the air intake was out, so next we're going to go after the serpentine belt, the alternator, and the AC compressor. To note, if you ever got one of these cars and you need to do the alternator, there's a reason why GM put a little tiny hex on the stud. Is that I believe you have to remove the stud in order to get the alternator out. So that's one of the issues. But yeah, we're jacking it up now because we got to get the exhaust unbolted. And then somewhere down there, hiding deep in the bowels, is an O2 sensor. And we got to get the O2 sensor out of it. So we'll see how that. I think I found it. It's down in there somewhere. We'll have to probably feel for it. We'll get to it. I'm gonna pull all this crap out. So there you go. We're well into her now. Being an old guy, this kind of shit here, this is fun. All these little locks and plugs you got to figure out. It's kind of nice that we actually had the motor, and we had the motor here so we could figure out how these gizmos work, because almost every plug has a different style. And I know all the guys out there who work on these late model stuff are laughing, but I'm old school, man, and this is just totally different to me. So I don't know where we got the motor from, but it came from a wrecking yard. It's not too bad. There's a couple of things maybe wrong with it. So we'll get that figured out as we go along. I believe this direct injection motor has a high pressure fuel pump, which is this guy right here. And so we got a whole bunch of that stuff figured out okay. It's kind of nice because most of the parts are still on the motor, so that's kind of cool. It's just you know, it's a lot different than a 1969 307 getting jerked out of a old pickup truck, I'll tell you that. It's a whole world of difference. So that's where we are on that, and we're going to keep going. The boys now are trying to find somewhere to drain the coolant out of the motor without doing the big dump. Getting any luck?
No.
You're in too deep anyway, way too deep.
Yeah, I know. I was just looking at something else, but
there's a tank. There's the left tank. Is there
right here?
That's it.
So what, that little bleeder valve there?
You undo or turn that valve, and it should piss out that little
I think there's a cover on it.
see that little, you're touching it with your finger, the drainage hole.
Right here?
No, get back in there, right there. That's the drain hole.
So you could hook a hose onto that?
If you wanted to, but where's the valve?
I feel like it's here, but which way do you turn it?
Turn like counterclockwise.
I need something to turn that. I don't know. I don't want to break it.
Yeah, let's not break nothing. In the world of shitty brittle plastic. Anyway, we'll keep working on that. But we're getting there.
Yeah.
We got all the coil packs undone.
Move it or something, or loosen it up.
So that's good.
I need a light.
We're getting there. Alright. So we're getting everything disconnected slowly but surely. This is a learn as you go project. We're about an hour and a half into it, so we're not that speedy yet. But it looks like we got to pull the ECM out to get the battery out of the way, because we got to get the battery disconnected, and of course we can't get to it because the ECM's in the way.
So 9 or 10.
So we'll, yeah, 10 mil.
10?
Yeah, so we'll pop the ECM out, and that'll help. We got the rad drained. There's a drain valve in the bottom of the radiator that was real ignorant to get undone as plastic. Of course, it's stuck. And so when you're doing one of these, on the GM stuff, they still provided you with a they still provided you with a drain, so that's kind of nice. Does it flip up?
It should. It just looks like it's clips holding that. But there's, so you gotta pop this side.
Oh no, you got it. Hold on, Brian. You moved it around. What's going on there?
It wants to come up, but
I think it's on a finger there. Yeah, and then it's just gonna lift up.
Okay. Okay.
Oh yeah, it slides on two
Prongs.
prongy dongies.
Set that over somewhere where
So we don't drop it. A $1,200 computer. Plus this $300 for the tech to come and flash it. Yeah, let's not drop it.
Yeah, we don't have a computer.
All right.
Bought one of those $200 ones off of Amazon to see if they're getting better.
We got shit here. They flash these units a lot.
Yeah. It's a GM.
It's
That's like a
proprietary.
program.
Oh yeah,
It's
because you got to.
$10,000 for a license.
Everything's got to be married up according. You know, these sensors got to be married to the ECM and.
Called bridging, basically. It's
Okay, so let's get one or the other unhooked on that battery, Jake. 10 mil wrench.
that's got to come off too. This
Shouldn't have to pull the battery.
Disconnect it, right?
Yeah, we should just be able to disconnect it. I don't think we need that much room. I like to stand that motor up because I got to see where the O2 sensor is. Okay. Out of the way, dude. So we're going to keep working on that and keep it rolling. Okay, look at this beastie. Somehow we got to get this off. And you know what? I don't know these connectors enough. This is just a giant colossal pain on how to release these things. Oh my lord. You got to be like inherently knowing what you're doing with lots of experience on these. So I think what I'm going to do is pull out the starter bolts, hang the starter down, and try to figure out. I can't see the top of this connector and I can't feel anything. I know the guys are laughing, but like seriously. Oh Lord, it makes things complicated. Okay, I'm gonna work on that and then we'll go from there. I'll see if I can get the starter out and show you guys. Alright, so we got the starter out. You can see here. That's where the bolts were for the torque converter. The ring gear to the torque converter. So you take the starter out, there's 3 bolts you got to do. You got to hand bar the motor over. We got this. I believe there's a knock sensor, there's a pressure sensor, and crank position sensor. So these 3 got to come off. We got the alternator out. So we're this far. We're getting there. And yeah. So far we're that far. Next we got to do is this guy here, which is the AC pump. And yeah, we're keeping on going. Oh, she's the land of hidden bolts, that's for sure. Whew.
Quite the job, eh?
Quite the job getting all these hidden bolts. So those guys that say they can do it in 2 hours, yeah, okay, so they got to be super insane better mechanic than I am, and it's just, there was a bolt right here, a stud. I think it goes in this hole here. No, this hole. And there's a stud in there holding up the exhaust bracket and part of the motor mount. And I was getting one click out of a ratchet wrench. And I couldn't see any other tool that would get in there, so I don't know. Maybe they got some magical tools that I don't even own. So, but yeah, we're working on it. We're doing our best, that's for sure. She's getting there. You're getting closer. The boys are getting the last bolt. We found a hidden bolt that holds the transmission to the motor, so we don't go crazy. I don't go nuts when I pull these. When I pull an engine, I make sure to go really slow and steady, just in case. I don't like ripping out wiring. I don't like ripping parts off. So this is taking us long. We've been at it for about 7 hours now, I think. We've been at this, so, and we're just about ready to pull. Of course, we had the, the normal hang-ups of seized exhaust nuts. To get in there with a torch, get them all out, and so that took time. We had the heater hose to get two bolts at the back. We had to take the upper rad hose out, which is right here, and then to get at these two bolts down here, this one and that one, the hose was right here, and there's a whole bunch of stuff in the way. Of course, the AC lines, because GM's got the AC on the driver's side. So, you don't have much room. But that's where we are. We're just getting ready to do the pull, so maybe we'll get lucky and video the pull. But anyway, that's where we are now.
Sorry.
What? I wasn't videoing. Okay, what am I stuck on here? It's pivoting on here. Give me the light. Down here. What is that? Crank bolt? Pull it your way. Pull the motor your way. Yep.
Let me get a pry bar.
Okay, I got one wire over here, but we should be able to get it up higher. I got to pop a wire off. You're okay there?
AC lines.
AC lines.
I want to see if I can gently keep them out of the way.
Okay, on. There you go. Okay.
All right, I'm gonna have to get my hands in there, so we'll stand by in the video. So, there to be, up in the sky. We got a little bit of problem there. We goofed up the insulation from the little hunk sticking off the back. I think what we're gonna do is pull the intake manifold off of the motor that's going in.
Give us more room.
Give us more room. Because this was too much of a pain. So, there we are. There's the hole. Catalytic converter. Looks dark down there like it should. Alright. She was tight. Very not easy to pull out. Okay. Bring me back to the days of 1972 Impala with a 350 Chevy. Have it out in an hour. Okay, anyway, we're back at it. Alright, boys and girls. Ladies, gentlemen, friends, neighbors, loved ones. Back to Ecotech. In the 2016, it's the GMC Terrain. Yep, we're back on this again today, and hopefully we can make some decent headway. We got a little bit of decking around to do with some hoses, and we pulled the intake manifold off on the pull out because it was made excruciatingly tight to get it out. So we thought, you know what, it's best that we pull the intake off, so we can have a easier go with things. So got some hoses to hook up. We got to run this vacuum line for the brake booster. There's a couple of things, but before we do that, I got 2 bolts to put in at the top at the back of the motor, and these were a real pain in the butt to get to. It's these 2 guys here. So one's a bolt nut or bolt stud, and then the other one's just a bolt. So we'll get those in, and I think that'll be it for all the motor bolts to the transmission, and then we can start piling on the peripheral parts and get that going. I haven't been doing a lot of wrenching for you guys because this is an extremely difficult job to do. We don't have time, the luxury of time, to make the videos that we would like to make, but this isn't necessarily a how-to. It's basically what we did. I hope it gives some interest to the channel so you guys can see different things that we do, that we have to do, because we just can't afford to pay experts like myself that I am, but I can't afford to pay somebody else to do that work for me. And yeah, things have changed nowadays. We don't have the barter system that we should have. Yeah, it's a whole different world. So anyway, before I get too philosophical, I'm gonna get rolling on this, and then I'll pop some video in here and there and show you the progress. Action cam time.
Camera's probably pretty good on that one, eh?
Yeah, just so you guys don't complain, I never showed you any of the bolts going in. This one's going in just like uptown. Look how exciting that is, eh? Watching this ball go in. Of course, it's going too fast. Some of this stuff is way easier to do it now, so we'll do it now before we go and put hoses and everything in the way. We got one tucked underneath the thermostat outlet. That's going to be a bit of a bugger. Almost. There you go. There's a minute and a half of your life that you thought you'd never get to see such exciting things, and unfortunately you'll never get that minute and a half of life back. But it makes good content for YouTube. Everybody likes it, so we'll do it. Oh. There we go. Installed. One bolt. Now there it is, boys and girls. She's running. I got it in. Lit right up right away. Fired right off. No issues at all. I don't know that it has to do a crank sensor learn, or it has to get taught. There might be a couple of things. We're throwing an engine code, and silly me, I didn't bring the reader. So, but there was a code before we changed the motor, so obviously, right, we haven't cleared those codes. There's a nice load of smoke burning off all the penetrating oil and everything we sprayed all over the place. It sounds decent. It's a little bit fluttery, but it sounds decent, so we'll have to see what happens. We'll get the hood on and take it outside. So, just in case you guys didn't know, there it is. Oh, here we go. Woo! Freezing rain. Yeah, bastard. Okay. So that's it, boys and girls. Like I said, we got an engine light on, air pressure system, so we must have dead batteries in the tire pressure monitoring system. So that's a minor issue, I guess, unto its own. And we'll get this thing parked so we can get the rest of the shop cleaned up and get home for some supper. Yeah, it took a little bit of time to get this, but there we are. Seems to be running very good. Well, that's it. We're going to call this one a video. We're going to call it a video, and we're going to call it quits. Well, thanks again for tuning in. I know it wasn't a great video, but we got the engine done. We're driving around, so this old clown can still get make some stuff happen. Thanks for tuning in, and got to thank Jake. Got to thank, obviously, this is Brandon's car, so he was a big part in this. Up and coming mechanic, doing a good job. And yeah, so we'll see you soon. Like, subscribe, ring the bell, check back often.